Hey everybody, it's Friday and it's 2 o'clock. That means it's time for the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John on Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM-1220 KHTS.
So Doug, what's going on, man?
Nothing.
Nothing, huh? Okay. Hey,
wait, I got a question. How'd it go without me last week?
Oh, you know who you were replaced by?
No.
City Councilman Bob Keller. But
I was replaced by a city councilman?
yeah.
Wow.
It was a very good show.
That's flattering.
Not really. Anyway, so question. Have you been watching any of the basketball playoffs?
No.
Oh, okay. Are you watching any of the news coverage on the whole Baltimore thing?
Not really.
Okay. Did you watch hockey playoffs?
No hockey.
NFL draft?
No,
Desperate Housewives of Atlanta?
No, I don't like that show.
What have you been... Wait a minute. I know what you've been watching.
What?
The Dead Clock.
The Dead Clock. How did
we
you
need
know?
Sound effects. The Dead Clock. Because it's all you rant about, the Dead Clock.
Have you sat there and watched the Dead Clock? It's unbelievable.
What is the Dead Clock? It just means that
It's actual... Has the debt... The federal debt increases in actual time. Unbelievable.
Oh, so we should shut down the government.
I'm not saying that, but go.
Well, what are you saying, then?
Anybody out there, just Google debt clock.
So what are you saying? Oh, no, we should stop.
Yeah.
We should not be in debt?
Serious.
What happens if the government's not in debt, Doug? Do you know?
Look, some debt is okay and healthy. But the amount that we have now is unsustainable.
How? Why? How? I don't understand what you mean by unsustainable.
Because if it was called in, we wouldn't be able to pay it back. And the people that we owe the money to have us by the you-know-what.
Okay. So it's what are they
just
going
like
to foreclose? They're going to foreclose on the Washington Monument?
Yeah.
Hey, this is now the Chinese National Monument in D.C.
Could be.
Oh, come on. So what? Somebody called you a paranoid alarmist?
Yeah.
That sounds pretty
Can you
close
imagine
to that?
that?
Are they going to paint the White House red?
Look. It's not just me. Do you think I'm making this stuff up?
No, but you got to have what is your opinion? Why is debt bad, Doug? Come on.
The amount of debt that we have right now makes us vulnerable.
How?
It makes us vulnerable because other countries have maneuverability to mess around with the currency. Right now, we're the world currency.
We probably won't be for very long.
Exactly my point.
What difference does that make?
It makes a huge difference.
Why?
Because then our dollar can become worthless quicker.
Overseas.
And here, overseas and here.
How would it become worthless here?
If
you can't answer any of my questions, can you?
I can't handle
You can't handle any of my questions. I want to prove to people you're not a paranoid alarmist.
No, all I'm saying is the amount of debt, who's going to pay it back? I'm not that worried about me.
Do we actually have to pay it back?
If somebody owed you that kind of money, would you want it back?
Well, don't we pay? Wouldn't you want to just live off the interest?
Yeah. Okay, but what happens? Let me
is.
ask you this: what's going to happen? Because someday they're going to have to raise the interest rates.
They may.
Yeah. And then what? I mean, right now we're going to get to the point where every dollar we borrow is just to pay interest.
Okay.
And then we have to borrow other dollars to pay for regular stuff.
Okay, so that's bad because come on, I'm trying to get you to think so you're not a paranoid alarmist here, Doug.
I am a paranoid alarmist.
Okay, but I want you to be a factual paranoid alarmist.
I can't tell you right off the top of my head, but if you go and
I'm going to
send
you home to do homework. You know that?
No, because we cannot have this huge amount of debt, and because it can make us vulnerable.
It can
call. Yeah, it can. I agree.
So
it can.
You got it. This is my goal for the next couple of weeks. Okay, we're going to have Doug live in a world of facts.
Well, let me ask you this.
Okay.
You don't agree that if you had a wife, but if you had a wife now, and she kept using the credit card over and over, yes, it's the same sort of effect it can have.
Hang on a second. I need to know from you the negative effects of the national debt. Okay? That's your homework assignment, Doug. All right?
No,
you're going to live in
homework.
facts. You're going to live in facts.
No.
Because the next thing is, civil unrest. I'm going to start building a cabin because it's going to multiply by the thousands.
No, my civil unrest concern could be from anything. It could be from the debt and because of economic collapse, but it could be from terrorism.
Okay.
It could be from multiple things.
Okay.
And my point I'm trying to make is what happened in Baltimore was just a sliver of what could happen if there's no electricity for several months. No water.
There won't be any water in California anyway.
No sewer.
But
no
where's the electricity going to go?
Well, That's one of the most common fears now of a terrorist attack is on the electrical grid.
Okay. All right. So they're going to take out the grid. Your concern, okay? You have to explain to us so that you're not a paranoid schizophrenic. No, not schizophrenic.
I've been accused of that too.
Yeah, there's that. A paranoid alarmist is where you think the specific threat is from. Okay.
No, I don't think it's too far-fetched to be a alarmist as far as civil unrest.
You're going too far to become too far-fetched. That's why people are calling you a paranoid alarmist.
Two people did.
Okay. It only takes. I found out where three on a match comes from. Did you know that? Have you ever heard the expression "Don't do three on a match"? I know where that comes from now.
I never
Anyway,
heard
it pays to be well read. You learn stupid things that are completely worthless, except for maybe trivia games. I'm really good at trivia games, Doug. I'm just saying. But aside from that, I want you to come in, even in your rant next week. I want more facts. Okay.
There's too many to mention. You cannot have huge amount of debt like this and keep an economy stable.
Then you say that. That's your premise. Then I want you to support it with three different facts.
All right.
Okay?
All right, Professor.
We're going premise and three facts.
Did you go to law school or something?
No, well, possibly. I was there while it was going on. Did I actually go or not? I don't know. All right, you listen to Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John on AM-1220 KHTS, Santa Clara's hometown station. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM-1220 KHTS. The Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John, the radio digest version of the Santa Clarita Gazette and free classifieds for all you need to know to be in the know.
Speaking of being in the know, we have a special report. Apparently there's a fire on Soledad at Rainbow Glen that apparently has been knocked down. It's apparently the condo structure there that caught fire, so please be careful in that area. It's kind of sticky over there anyway because they're doing a lot of median work and it's one lane. So, all right, hey Doug, I guess it's time for Robert Patrick Lewis, our national correspondent, right?
Yeah, if we can get a hold of him.
I hope we have him, right? We have him. Robert, you're there, right?
He's not there.
You're not there. We don't have anybody.
All right, John, just fake it.
All right. Well, hey, if I were Robert Patrick Lewis, I would agree with my position that you have absolutely no facts to support any of your positions.
I have lots of facts.
And where are they?
Back at the office.
Okay. Where's Robert Patrick? Okay. So all
wow,
right.
headphones.
Headphones at work. All right. Well, you don't need headphones. We don't have anybody in the air.
Anyway, John, my point is there's lots of facts and reasons why too much debt is a bad thing, just like it is in any business, any household.
I don't have a problem with any of that, Doug. But all you do in your rant is say, ooh, it's bad, ooh, it's bad, ooh, it's bad.
All right,
and you never get into why. Okay? And that's why people think you're just a naysayer and a negative, Eeyore. The sky is falling, but you never tell us why or how to fix it.
Well, maybe I just assume that it's pretty common sense, but I'll take your point's taken.
That's a massive assumption.
Let's ask Robert Patrick Lewis.
I think that's, the idea that common sense isn't that common.
Exactly.
But you always got to hear it.
And if you're assuming that people have common sense to understand your arguments, Doug, what does that make you?
Oh, if I assume something?
Yeah,
I can't say that on the radio.
Yes, we can. We can say that it makes you wrong.
I thought you meant the other term.
So, Robert, this is my point. He's sitting there telling me that debt's bad. And I go, okay, well, why? And then crickets chirp.
Crickets didn't chirp.
Oh, pretty much. All you did was say the same thing over and over again. He watches the debt clock, Robert. Do you know anybody who sits there and watches the debt clock? Okay? And then somebody had the gall to actually call him, what did they call you, Doug?
A paranoid extremist. No, alarmist.
Alarmist. Now, I don't know, the way to fight that, Robert, and you would probably agree with me, is to barrage that person with facts, right?
Facts just scare some people.
I know, but if somebody's going to say, oh, you're an alarmist, all you're doing is making stuff up, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad, and I say, no, it's not here, look at the facts. Suddenly, oh, it is bad. Uh-oh, we should do something. Maybe that's one way to get the whole nation moving together. All right,
Yeah.
now I'm just being I'll go back to like sniffing unicorn dung or something.
Well, no, the problem is that makes perfect logical sense.
I know.
There inherently is the problem, right? I was actually speaking with a friend of mine earlier today who's very politically connected, and he works a lot behind the scenes in politics, and we were talking about the water shortage, the issue, right? I've been hearing for 10 years that water is the new oil, right? We're going to begin fighting wars over water very soon, especially here in Los Angeles, where we never had the infrastructure. Ever.
Oh, never.
Los Angeles never had the water infrastructure. And the problem is, when you try to use common sense and you try to use logic, then there's other people who, for some reason, have some kind of fight against you. They have their own agenda. And as long as they have money and they have marketing, it's pretty easy to fool stupid people. And there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, what are they called? Low information voters. That was the one.
Yeah, which
the term that I've
unfortunately
heard.
most of them.
It's silly, but it's like, okay, so fine. As Doug, in a position of responsibility, has the ability and the wherewithal to sit there and have a voice and become an alarmist, a paranoid extremist, alarmist, schizophrenic.
Well, you're adding words.
I just add all kinds of words to Doug. No, Doug, smother people with facts. I'm not saying you're wrong. Okay, I think debt is not a good thing. But you can't sit there and go, oh well, some debt's good, some debt's bad.
Well, you're always going to have some debt.
Why?
Reality. Look at your own account.
See, Robert, this doesn't. I'm making life miserable for Doug today.
It's okay. That's what he gets for playing hooky so much.
Easy.
There you go.
I'm not going to read your book now. Hey, when is the hard copy coming out, by the way?
I got a text message from my publisher 20 minutes ago of him holding the hard copies, the proof that showed up.
All right.
He's looking over it, making sure there's no typos, the printers didn't screw anything up, and if it's all good, we'll send him the message, and it should be available on Amazon by tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
Great. When's the book signing? That's what I
so that I wanted to wait until I had physical ones in my hand to start setting those up. I'm going to be doing something for the Lone Survivor Foundation in Texas later this month.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to try and set up a couple here locally before I go do that.
That sounds great. We'll definitely come out. Maybe we'll broadcast live from your book signing.
That'd be cool.
With your cell phone?
Yeah. And maybe just me broadcasting to a friend. I don't know. All right. So what else is going on nationally, Robert? What else you got for us? Doug, there's got to be something you got to be upset about.
No, I'm all good. I'm thinking about debt.
Yeah, on that same train that Doug was talking about, Greece has the potential. If this goes the wrong way, and essentially it looks like their finance minister is just being written off. This could either be a horrible thing, or it could be something that it's a little bit of a bump and doesn't really have any large repercussions. The problem is, we don't know. Right? We don't know. And that's essentially what Greece did. They didn't get Doug's message. They weren't listening to the alarmists and the paranoid schizophrenics out there. And they took on too much debt, to a huge amount. We got in that huge crisis a few years ago. We had to slap them on the hand. The EU, the IMF, all these different organizations had to give them large infusions of cash as a bailout. And so, of course, Greece said, okay, well, we'll be better from now on. Okay, we'll follow your rules. We'll do this.
Hey, Robert, is that because they couldn't print their own money?
Well, I think that's the thing. Once they became a part of the EU, they had to be a little responsible, right? And so that's one of the things with that. The EU, they have their own body that is in charge of all their monetary and fiscal policy. And that's kind of the point of the EU, is to bring all these different countries together and be able to work on one cohesive objective, rather than each country having its own and, creating just kind of financial anarchy.
Hey, Robert, we're up against the break. Can you hold on?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're listening to Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John on AM-1220 KHTS with our special guest, Robert Patrick Lewis, our national correspondent. We'll be right back.